It has been an indeterminate amount of time since Roger Wilco rocketed away from Valhall's burning space fortress. Time stands still for our hero in suspended animation. Its engines long spent, the small escape pod drifts aimlessly through unfamiliar starfields, its course altered many times by small asteroids and space debris. Inside, Roger lies undisturbed in his sleep chamber. But not for long. The pod, considered to be nothing more than another piece of scrap, is taken aboard the robot-commanded garbage freighter. Unfortunately, these robots have no regard for organics. The small pod is jarred by a sudden shock which triggers the sleep chamber's revive mode. The glass shroud slides back. Roger slowly begins to regain consciousness. Where am I? And hello everybody and welcome to Space Quest 3, the next installment in Sierra Saturdays. I am Ollamh, and yes, you notice that the sounds of this pod grow softer until they are imperceptible. Having served its purpose and taxed its resources, the pod gives a final hum and shuts down. Yay! We save. In garbage, yes. Okay, so yes, this one is still a parser game, but, unlike the previous one, they actually have the input bar, which means that it pauses everything that's going on. Look, you're standing in a debris-cluttered junk bay. An escape pod rests in the middle of the room. There are chunks seem sections of old spaceware. Thing. Pardon me, but this program is too stupid to glean your desire from such a wonderfully crafted sentence. Please try something else. Is it the motivator, if I remember? A closer look at the object on the floor reveals that it's a warp motivator. It looks a bit more high-tech than the other junk strewn about this locale. Sturdily constructed, its only plug protrusion is a modular plug near its base. I suppose I could have, done this and left-click, I think it is? No? No, they don't. Okay, this was before they actually implemented that, which kind of sucks. Alright, Craft looks like it has seen a lot of action in its day. You believe it to be a bow tie fighter dating back to the Cologne Wars. A true relic. Ha 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 ha. And look at Rocket. This is another fine but worthless Acme product. Yep. Alright, so, let's look at sheet of metal. Look at metal. You see nothing but riveted steel. Get steel. Yow! Horror buckets of blood. And yes, oh. It's obvious that the metal was sharper than you. The resulting laceration turned you into a living fountain, at least for a few moments. Unfortunately for you, this show was your finale. Good luck in the afterlife. A brave but fatal attempt at arterial art. Ha ha. So yes, there we go. Death 1. Okay, so I do have the glowing gem still. What is the change speed? Let's bump it up to 8. Okay. What is Control S? Yes. 10. Okay, so the higher the number, the slower the speed. So what if we go down to 2? Okay, 2 and we're rocking around pretty well. Alright, no problem. What is that? I don't know what it's called, though. We have the Jupe 2. Alright. So if we come up here, let's see. What's in here? There's an exoskeleton. Or a skeleton, I suppose I should say. Get wire. Always pick up wire. Wire is good. And we have a big robot head. Yay! Look at head. Wow! An ancient model of a battle bot. I bet you'd hate to run into whatever brought this big guy down. Looks like something poked it in the eye. So if we say climb head, we can go up and down here, and that's the ship we want. That is that is our beauty of a ship. Look at ship. It's a sleek-looking number if you can disregard the junk it's rooted in. It must be a recent addition to the collection, as everything seems to be intact. Etched on each side is the name Aluminium Mallard. On top is a small hatch. So yes, as opposed to the Millennium Falcon, it's the Aluminum Mallard. Climb head. So we need a few things before we can really do much with that ship. We need a ladder in order to get up to the top of the ship. Well, why did you go back? That was kind of weird. But okay, so we know better than to pick up that sheet of sharp metal. But, we do need to come here and, you know what? Save. There we go, yes. Alright, so. Get to the ship. Alright, so there we go. There's our play for this, our saving for this. Now, if we don't do anything, not a pretty sight. Shredded like an Iran-Contra document. Wow. You're less than choice cut. Welcome. Jeez. Yeah, so there's 2 deaths. Now, I am going to slow this down to, say, 8, so that we're not, like, racing through. Because we basically need to say, okay, stand up, jump to rail. Alright. Alright, there we go. And we are successfully on the rail. Now, we need to come over here. And climb into machine. There we go. Alright, so yes, now we have this neat little machine that's a grabber. And we do need to, well, let's look at controls. Yes, controls. Okay, so push button. Ideally, what we want to do is we want to aim it so that... Okay, so we need to go over a little bit more. Because we need to pick up the warp motivator and put it in the aluminum mallard. Yes, I know when I first said it, I said aluminium like in a Brit. That's generally how I think of it, because that makes sense as to how it's spelled. So now we have the warp motivator. Huzzah! And we can't do anything here because of the bars and everything. But if we come here, and I think it's here, and if we push the button again, it drops the claw down. Sensing the adequate surface, the claw releases its cargo and begins to ascend to the grabber. The object thuds into place within the cavity of the ship. So now we have a warp motivator in our ship, and what will soon be our ship, I suppose. I should say. Because it's not quite ours yet. We haven't managed to steal it properly. But you see, we come over here. Now, we do need to be careful in the next scene. So, stand up. So, we are going to save here. And we are going to tumble down into the garbage chute. Fortunately, you come to a relative soft landing in a pile of debris. Now, look at wire. Seems brittle looking wire runs from lamp to lamp and then disappears into look in hole. You peer into a small opening and notice a tiny reactor which seems to be providing power for the lights. Get reactor. You unhook the reactor from the cheap wires and take it with you. Huzzah! Pardon me, but look at creatures. You can hear something scurrying around above you. You can't actually see the rats because they're hidden in the shadows. Oh, I see. You guys can... What is that? Okay, so there's no ship. So yes, if I stick around too long, if I remember right, maybe not. Okay. Climb ladder. Bending aside a thin piece of scrap, you find an opening into another area and climb on in. Get ladder. You grab the ladder and jam it in your pocket. Ouch. Yeah, because that was a ladder that was a tall ladder. That was a very tall ladder. Anyway, we're going to save because that is all the time we have for this particular episode of Space Quest 3. As always, thank you so much for watching. And stay tuned for more from Ollamh Productions. Just to let you know, at 12 o'clock we are going to have a special of Weathering the Front News, covering the fair use and Let's Plays in particular. And then at 4 p.m. we're going to have more Space Quest 3. So, cheerio! Food
voodoo spell.
I think I'm getting dizzy.
Overcome by the fumes and stench, Guybrush quickly loses.
Restricted to a 4-block special area and not allowed out until they were below 300 kilograms or 661 pounds.